Hi, I'm Abby Zechman, the 2018 YN of the Year. In all the time I've spent as a dealer, a page, and as a coin show attendee, the one thing I see without fail is parents and grandparents frustrated by their attempts to get the kids that they love into collecting. That is why I decided to give this presentation, to hopefully help get families and children invested into the hobby. I think that it's incredibly important to get more young people involved in this world that we love so much, because it really is true that they are the future of this hobby. In my opinion, the number one mistake people make when trying to get a kid into numismatics is expecting them to collect the exact same way they do, instead of considering the child's interests. I completely understand wanting to share your passion with your child or grandchild, and wanting to use this as a way to grow closer to them. But if you only focus on what you like, instead of taking the time to see what excites your grandchild, you run the risk of frustration for you both. The thing to keep in mind is that not every kid is going to want to collect perfectly toned Morgan dollars or shiny gold coins. In fact, in my experience, most kids would prefer some unique world coins, cool ancient ones, or creatively carved hobo nickels. You must remember that collecting is different for everyone because we're all interested in different things. When getting someone started in numismatics, at each show, try to find that one thing that grabs their attention. Now, keep in mind that they might start by collecting a little bit of everything. That's what I did. At my first show, my mom walked the floor with me and we looked at the displays and talked to dealers. One of them gave me a gallon bag of world coins for free because he could see I was interested. They weren't incredibly valuable, but I was overjoyed. I couldn't believe I owned all these cool coins. My collection in the early years wasn't anything special to most avid collectors, and probably wouldn't be anything special to me now, but it was impressive to me. It contained a little bit of everything because I just kept adding coins that caught my eye. I didn't have a clear focus, but that was okay. I was collecting and staying engaged and involved. As time went on, I realized I didn't want to collect world coins, so I narrowed down my focus to American and ancient coins, because I love history. Then, after attending my first year at the ANA Summer Seminar and taking early American coppers, I narrowed down my focus even more and am now working on a date set of large cents. So don't worry if at first they can't pick just one thing to collect. Over time, they will most likely narrow down their interests a little bit. In the beginning, it's more important to keep up their excitement. If possible, I highly recommend taking them to a coin show to get the conversation started and hopefully light that first spark. Specifically, look for one with a YN program and booth. If a show has a program designed just for the YNs, it will have fun activities and speakers who are experienced in getting kids' attention. A great show to start with if you are in the area is the fun shows, because Mr. Tony Bonero does a fantastic job putting together an amazing program for the kids. Not only does the show have the YN program, but there is also a booth just for the kids. The Coins and Kids booth has a wheel they can spin for free coin prizes, and there is a representative from the ANA who comes and sets up a scavenger hunt for the YNs, called Treasure Trivia. This game sends the kids all over the Bourse floor to different booths, where they will learn things about all different types of coins and numismatics in general. All the tables who participate give them something fun to add to their collection, and it is a great way for them to get acquainted with the Bourse floor. There's also a gold panning booth where they can pan for their very own gold nuggets. On top of those, there are a bunch of other interactive booths the kids will enjoy, like the Hobo Nickel booth. Other great shows to attend are the ANA World's Fair of Money or the National Money Show. The ANA shows also offer a YN booth, Treasure Trivia, and YN programs, as well as a cash tornado and exhibits from the ANA Museum. If these shows don't fit with your kids' schedule, don't worry, there are still some smaller local shows that have YN programs as well. When you go to a show with your child or grandchild, try to let them take the lead. This is huge because your grandchild is different than you and they're going to be interested in their own things. A mistake I see often is people thinking that if their grandchild doesn't collect in the exact same way they do, then they aren't doing it right. It's important to remember that everyone collects in their own way, so we don't want to force anything on them. I know that when you're at a show, you probably have some of your own business to attend to, and that's totally understandable. I would encourage you, if you can, to attend 2 days of a coin show, using one for your business and one for your child or grandchild. Or, if you can only attend 1 day of a show, set aside an hour where you just focus on what your child wants to do. When I say let them lead, I mean you look at whatever they want to look at for that full hour. If they want to look at an error or world coins, don't try to pull them away to look at some Morgan dollars or some rare variety that they might not be interested in. By setting aside a day, or even just an hour, specifically for your child, you will really show them that you want to spend time with them and that you want to grow in your relationship. They will see that you care enough about them to let them do what they want, even if it's just for 1 hour. Letting them lead you around gives them the chance to look at whatever they want, talk to any dealers they choose, and try any activity they find that looks interesting. If they get to choose those things, then the chances of them getting hooked on something is much higher than if they just follow you around the bourse floor all day while you attend a business. Something else you can do to entice them to join you for a day at a coin show is to give them money that they can spend, their own budget. It doesn't have to be a lot. My mom started by giving me $20 to spend on whatever I wanted. The key is allowing them to spend money on any numismatic items that they want. When you give them their own budget, let them be in charge of it. Have a discussion before you get onto the bourse floor, letting them know that they get to use the money for whatever they want, and they should be the ones to talk to and pay the dealers. Many dealers, when they see that they are working directly with kids, go out of their way to talk to them, answer questions, and give them the best deal possible. And honestly, if they don't, try to encourage your child to move to another dealer selling the same thing they were looking for. I always went out of my way to buy from dealers who were excited to work with a YN. Before hitting the floor, give them the money to hold. This will work especially well for younger kids. If you give little kids even just a few dollars, they will feel rich and it will get them excited. When you give them the money to hold, chances are they will run around the bourse floor trying to find the coolest thing there. Most likely, you'll have trouble keeping up with them. Letting them make personal connections with the dealers is huge. I can still remember one of my earlier coin shows. I decided I was going to buy a Morgan dollar because I didn't have one yet and apparently they were a big deal. I found a booth that had a lot of them and wasn't super busy, so I started my search there. As soon as I sat down, the dealer took notice of me and began interacting with me. He asked me what my name was, how old I was, how long I'd been collecting, why I chose numismatics, and what I was looking for. When he heard I was looking for a Morgan, he pulled out all his nice ones that were within my price range and told me to take all the time I'd like. Not only that, but there was a gentleman walking by who took notice of this. He sat down next to me and asked if he could see what I was looking at. He then proceeded to tell me a little bit about the dollar and help me see the highs and lows of each specific coin I was looking at. He pointed out that one of them was double struck and showed me where to look to see that. After he had spent about an hour discussing the coins with me, he asked which coin I was going to pick. When I told him I wanted the double struck one, he pulled out his wallet, paid for my coin, and walked away before I could even thank him. I think it's important for YNs to make a connection with some dealers because if this is a hobby they decide to stay with, they need those trusted people they can get their coins from. I love people who will take the time to get to know me and who answer my endless questions and tell me the history behind their different coins. The more people your child makes a connection with, the more likely they are to stick with this because then they will enjoy coming to coin shows even more. So far, I've shared a few different ideas, but the number one thing you should do is find something that connects with your child. If they're really into sports, help them find some commemorative sports coins. If they like bright and shiny, find some proofs. They may be like my sister and love animals, so world coins might interest them. Or they may be like me and enjoy the history behind the pieces, so older coins such as large cents will be their thing. I have found that there is a numismatic item for almost any interest out there. You just have to know what you are looking for. Now, I know from personal experience that when you are first getting started, it can be hard to keep the excitement up in between coin shows, especially when you only go to 1 or 2 a year. My first year or so, I would get really into numismatics around each fun show, but that interest would go down as the time passed between shows because I didn't have much to help feed my passion. Then I discovered coin clubs and decided to try one out. I found a local club that had a special YN meeting once a month, so I tried that out. I enjoyed the meeting, and once I began going to the 2 meetings a month, it really helped keep me interested and excited about numismatics, even when I was in between shows. If you manage to hook your child at a coin show, I highly recommend bringing them to your club whenever they are free. Not only will it help keep them invested, but it is also a great way for them to learn new things and maybe find new interests within numismatics. Unfortunately, coin collecting isn't for everyone, and even if you try what I've recommended today, they just may not be interested. First, keep trying. You never know when the right time for your child or grandchild might be, and if they never fall in love with coins, don't let that discourage you from encouraging other YNs. There's so many ways you can help YNs in this hobby. If you happen to be a dealer at shows and a kid comes up to your booth, take the time to interact with them, answer their questions, and maybe even drop the price of a coin they are interested in by a few dollars, so it's more within a YN price range. If they try out your club, take the time to go over and say hi and ask what they collect and how they got started. Or you can donate to different organizations that focus on YNs in this hobby. I hope that this has helped give you some ideas on how to get those special kiddos in your life into this hobby we love so much. This is Abby Zechman. Happy coin collecting.